your viewing pleasure. What a fun way to phrase it. Jimmy? Back to the games. Welcome back to Tuesday Night Fights, where I pay moderate amounts of money to usually North American pro gamers to beat each other up, as is the American way. Speaking of American, in the bottom left, from Root Gaming, the WCS Winter Qualified American Protoss player. Yeah, I wouldn't be American if I didn't keep mentioning that like 5 times. It's Puck. In the top right, the Mexican Zerg player. Destroying, demolishing, decimating Turkey Dano in our previous match. But he's going to have to step it up for this one. Is JimRising. For those of you watching live, you can check out JimRising at that thing, Rising without an I, and then Puck with 2 Ks. Because we're all great at branding here. And you can follow me at Winter Gaming on Twitch, at WinterStarcraft on YouTube, at WinterSC on Mixcloud, at Starcraft Winter on Twitter, and Winter Gaming again on Instagram. Who would have expected that? I don't know. Great job, me. Really. Alright. So, let me describe these players. They're both, I think right now, Puck is ranked 14 GM, something like that, but could easily, like, if he's putting in the work and he's really focusing on it, easily top 5. Same with Jim, to be honest. But, depending on the day, they're both streamers as well, so. Well, first, before we get into that, let me mention, we're fighting on the Team Liquid map contest 12 maps. I have to make a decision on my top 5 maps from the finalists, and the winner of the map contest is almost certainly going to be in the ladder pool. Jim. Oh my god. Okay, Jim's already doing it. But this is one of the 16 finalists. World of Sleepers. And it is one of the mineral challenge of the challenge maps. And the challenge is to use minerals as a terrain feature. The difference between minerals and, like, destructible rocks is the only way to get rid of them is to mine them, the good old-fashioned way, which Jim just did to open up the third base. Usually the minerals form a slight wall, which means, for example, an early pool, Zerglings can't get through that area. But if you want to take a third as a Protoss or a Zerg, you can mine through with a couple drones. It's only a handful of minerals. It doesn't take long. And then suddenly, you're open to a third base. And Jim, I don't know if he's played the map or he just realized it, but on top of it gets his third. And that's an interesting... there's a lot of ways to use it. We've seen between the map makers a lot of... I don't know, like, if he needs to keep doing it. Okay, how many total? It starts with 10. Okay, so it only takes 2 drones a single trip. That's good to know. Let me go back to the styles of the players. Puck, the Micromancer. Sometimes too much micro. He's known for it. You've probably seen clips of him doing some ridiculous sort of like Warp Prism micro or Stargate related or spell casting. He's essentially, I'm pretty sure he went to Hogwarts with how many spells he so proficiently casts. But sometimes that can come back to bite him in the sense that he gets too fancy in like going for so many different things he doesn't have enough of just one important thing. Whereas Jim is usually more macro-oriented. We saw against Turkey Dano breaking out the Nidus networks, but you can already tell. Turkey Dano, 1 base Ravagers. Against Puck, quick 3 base. He knows who he's playing, he knows what his strengths are, and he's going straight up to that. Yeah, I guess Puck requires kind of an inevitable comparison with Neeb. Neeb, the best American player, and the best American Protoss. Puck would, well, he was fighting for that for a... Wait. Did he wall with gateways? I feel like that's a hard wall, but I feel like maybe I'm wrong. But am I wrong? Yes. No. No, he has to mine through this. Anyways, there's a bunch of Zerglings at the front of the base. So everybody trying to figure out the map a little bit here. But once he mines through, he has opened up some space. And it is 2 robos, by the way, which is a bit more of an old school style. I don't know if he's seen a Roach Warren at some point here. I don't believe he has. Just going straight into it. A relatively long rush distance, so you have a lot of time to react to any pushes or anything coming out. I like the contrast on the map, too. Like the look of, I don't know, the white sands and then the very low ground being a dark gray. It's got a very clean look while still being... You had... Like, that's not creep, Brenda. I know it's hard to tell the difference. Anyways. How many Zerglings? Okay, 15 Hydras on the way. Jim, looks like a hard stop at 62 drones, which is enough to fully saturate 3 bases. Am I wrong about that math? Very close to enough to fully saturate 3 bases. He's really focusing on hitting a timing. Ideally, well, the focus would be here before Storm. Storm just started. He's replacing the 2 drones he lost, but then going directly into units. An Observer is coming out. There needs to be a Chrono Boost all over the Storm. At this point, do you even try to finish Storm, or you just focus on building gateway units? Because right now, Puck, he has 4 gates and 2 robos. That's not a huge amount of production. So we're going to have to see another trademark Puck defense, as a lot of Hydras are working their way across. And a telltale sign that a Zerg wants to be aggressive is getting muscular augments before groove spines. That means your Hydras move faster off of creep. Groove spine's much better defensively, because on creep there's a negligible difference. A hard wall at the front, both sides tearing down this wall. Nothing will stand between them and their fighting. Beautiful Stasis Ward blocks out the Zerglings from the 3rd. And Puck, it seems, has shut down this attack. Jim agrees as he's taking a 4th base, adding more drones and a Spire. It seems like he already felt like it wasn't going to work out. Before he started realizing, wait a second. Puck is too well established. There's going to be too many units. This is not going to end the game. It had a threat to, but he didn't really slow down his economy much to make it happen. The one thing... So, by reflex, a lot of players will go... if you go muscular augments, it feels like you finished your Hydra upgrades. What I mean by that, it looks like Jim making up for it, but muscular augments is usually your 2nd Hydra upgrade after groove spines. Some players will forget they didn't get groove spines if muscular augments finishes, because it feels like your Hydras, well, now you're good to go. The production tab fills up for Jim. Baneling Nest Infestation Pit, 2 Evolution Chambers, Groove Spines, plus 1 Carapace for Corruptors. So, what is the intent? Is he going to try to snipe bases? There's not that many air units. This can't be a counter for the air he's seen. There are 9 Immortals and 8 Templar on the map, though. Puck has all the tools necessary to defend and potentially attack. And Corruptors do not shoot at Templar or Immortals, but they can kill... Is he actually doing a Corruptor snipe squad? This is one of those Twitch chat Grandmaster beta builds. That, in theory, with Caustic Spray, you can kill bases, and it's difficult to kill Corruptors, but in practice, that's a huge investment in units that are not going to fight the Death Ball. That Nexus not going down. A couple cannons there. I think he caught a glimpse of the Spire somewhere. Oh, he saw a hive on the way. Okay. Where even is the... I can't even find the spire. Okay, there it is. Oh, we saw the spire, yeah. Never mind. I didn't see it. Puck did. Now, of course, he didn't expect Corruptors. That might have been why Jim decided to go Corruptors, to be honest. If the spire is scouted, well, that whole element of surprise thing is no longer a big part of it. All right, the third base being sprayed down, but that leaves a lot of army supply tied up in those Corruptors and tied up on the other side of the map. Puck is moving out with a huge amount of strength in each of these armies. Beautiful force fields and incredible storms. Puck obliterates the army with next to no losses. More storms across the board. The Banelings evaporate at the same time as he strikes for the fourth. The Hydras are caught, and Puck blasts through. Near perfect execution in every possible way. And Puck just ties that game up tightly and puts it away. Wow. I'm glad I hyped up the micro part, right? Like, now I look smart. Alright, Puck says he'll be right back. 1 second. Yeah, it kind of felt like... Well, Jim wanted to commit to the Hydra timing. But Puck was too locked down. So the follow-up to the Hydra timing, because what's the counter for Hydra? You got Templar, Immortals, like Archons. Archons don't directly counter Spire. They counter Spire through increasing your army strength. But if you get the Spire out and you keep them in their base, then the Mutas either keep the Archons at home or force a base trade. So, but since the Spire was scouted, it feels like Jim kind of did the... Well, I'm going Corruptor. And Puck was like, well, I have 2 incredibly strong armies. 5 Templar, 5 Immortals, 0 Fox. All it takes. Like... All right. Oh. Shh. We're back. Right. Top left is Puck. Bottom right, JimRising. We're on Acropolis, which is a macro map in the macro map category of the Team Liquid map contest. It is probably the largest map in the finalists, just based, like, you can kind of tell the size of a map based on how the minerals look on the mini-map. And you can obviously tell, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 total bases, which isn't the highest ever, but the space between them is quite dramatic. There's a couple watchtowers. Now, this is what I like when it comes to map design. And I was one of the judges who narrowed down over 160 maps to these 16. So 1 in 10 made it, essentially. But watchtowers are not necessarily a yes or a no. It's about how you use them. Having a watchtower in the center of the map on like a hill, well, that's 1, uninspired, and 2, does not make for necessarily great gameplay, right? But having a couple watchtowers that cover alternative attack paths, like around the top or the sides, but are on the low ground and easily contested. Sometimes you just get a fight back and forth around the watchtower. You don't even have to fight over the bases because there's another objective that both players can go for. And that can make for interesting situations. Also makes it less ridiculous to deal with things like Zergling run-bys and drops and stuff like that. We'll see. I'm reasonably sure that both these players... Wait, did Puck vote on these? I forget. Puck may have also... judged these maps. Not necessarily played on them, but may have also judged. Dude, I should probably know this. I should also know how to find this more quickly. There's a lot going on. Just listen to the dramatic music and also the Puck action cam.
Glory to the day.
Oh yeah, Puck also judged these maps. So Puck has at least, well, hopefully, Puck has at least looked at them before, not necessarily played on them. There's no way that we were going to be able to play games on every single one of 160 maps, but at least look them over in the editor, see if there's anything super broken, stuff like that. So, I did not realize that.
Oracle perceiving.
Moving on! First Oracle is out. The Stargate, the choice of many more comfortable Protosses. The Stargate is kind of the default because it limits the options of a Zerg without costing too much. What I mean by that is if an Oracle exists, if you're going all in, there's a likelihood, 1, they will be able to scout it, 2, put together some sort of response. Now, one Oracle is not going to kill a dozen roaches and 40 Zerglings, but just having that information more quickly. On the other side of it, the Zerg now has to either play defensive, like you can't move out with a medium amount of units because the Oracle will just, Oracle or Oracles or Stargate units will easily crush it and leave you, that was a waste of money, essentially. So you're kind of pinned back. He now has to make some spore crawlers and have queens back at home and spread the creep between the bases to move around. Because right now, JimRising, let's see, he doesn't know for a fact there's not a second Stargate building oracles. He doesn't know for a fact what's going to be behind this. He can make assumptions, but since he didn't go for Overlord speed or anything of that nature, he has to just guess. Educated guess. But in come a couple oracles, plenty of adepts as well. There's 5 roaches on the way, but they're still in the mail. The adepts, wow, finding a lot of damage thus far. 7 kills. Jim got a little greedy here with the drone count, going almost up to 60. Roaches popping out. Puck keeping the adepts alive. He knows there's more value in, well, he's gauging there's more value in keeping the adepts alive, keeping them as a threat, keeping Jim back in his base, rather than just throwing them away and trying to trade them out for drones. Because right now, Jim, same thing. Jim does not know. There could be 12 more adepts. Or there could be an Archon drop. There's still a lot of guesswork involved in Jim's position, especially since he doesn't even know if there's a third. He needs to figure that out. Once he figures that out, he can kind of make some more educated calls, I guess. But since he doesn't have that info even yet, he already went for the Nidus. So that's already a big commitment. Where is the Nidus? It's at the back of the natural. Oh wait, Puck scouted it. Jim! Okay, second Nidus. That's not necessarily a mistake. It's not a mistake. Oh my god. The double worm. Well, it's actually become a little more common, but only heard about in stories. In the stories of the ancients. The double worm. The first one, the Oracle's already activated. Another worm on the outside. The second network is finishing up. Puck, now gonna play Whack-A-Worm. Oracles with spell damage cut right through the armor of the Nidus Worm. But there's another one in the main! Just barely finishes at the net. He's just gonna continue forward. The Oracle's still going to work. None of the Nidus... He's still putting them down as quickly as they come back up. Dark Shrine is on the way. And suddenly Jim... Oh, he missed one! He missed one! Is that enough to make the difference? Puck is pulling away. The recall comes through, but guess what? The Zerg are here! Only... Oh, well, there are some Immortals at the back, but that's a lot of roaches popping out. The Queens are coming through. Another Nidus. The reinforcements are here. A Nidus at the back. The Probe's on stop position. A beautiful micro from Puck, but does he have enough? The Zerglings are coming through. The Immortals bashing down the roaches as quickly as they pop out. The Nidus in the back is about to finish. Does he have flanking units? Will that make the difference? He has nothing in the worm. Still, some of the Queens have energy for transfuse. They're holding the line. They don't take extra damage from the Immortals. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. The Niduses will eventually be put down, and Puck is holding the line. He's lost 10 probes thus far, but all these units will be shut down. And 10 probes are not the end of the world. In fact, they are for Jim. That's 2 for Puck. The Whack-A-Worm strat was enough. He kept Jim from getting into his base until he had plenty to shut it down. Solid probe micro, minimizing losses. And Puck goes up 2-0. We're going to Rest Calm. I would say, based on my impressions of this map, it is Zerg favored. Just the way it's laid out. So, yes. We're trying to tilt it in that direction. Thank you. In the bottom right of Rest Calm, Root Gaming's Protoss player. Up 2-0. And up against the ropes. Able to dispatch Turkey Dano, but Puck proving a much bigger challenge. It's JimRising. Not actually sure. I don't know if that's his team. If I go to his Twitter, well, is he on a team? He's Predator Esports. Pretty cool name. Pretty intense. But today, Puck, not very easy prey. Yeah, is every drone he makes a Predator drone? Wow. Yip, yip, yip. Actually, he has no team? Well, he should probably change the banner on his Twitter from having a team on it, if that is indeed the case. So Rest Calm is one of the Challenge 1 maps. It has some mineral walls Now, they're not a huge feature of the map, but there are small mineral walls that give access to a gold base, which is also a mineral wall, and has a rich Vespene geyser, which gives you double the gas income of a normal Vespene geyser, which obviously is very valuable, but not particularly easy to get access to. Stargate on the way. Is anyone surprised? I'm not
Now I
surprised.
have
Are you
your
surprised?
attention.
Thank you, Sushi Laser. Voloshin. Thank you, Goss, for those subs. First Adept comes out mostly for scouting. Gonna try to get a beat on a third base. No, wait. Okay. So, a third base, drone count, Zergling count, whether queens are producing, any lairs. There's a lot of info you can get. And this is, I think, a big piece. There are a lot of diamond players who are like, well, I just try to do your builds or follow the guides or everything, and I just get all in and die. This is a very important part. This Adept here, continually scouting around, getting info, and then, well, 2 Adepts not required, I'd say, for lower level players. But both the threat of 2 Adepts and their ability to scout gives Puck a lot more safety. Like, he can know there are 2 queens, some creep has spread, the drone count. This is actually a little bit of a mistake, I think. Well, we'll see. It gets pinned up against the gas geyser. It looks like 1 Adept will get out. But he forces a response out of Jim. Jim has to show him how many units he's building or where they're positioned. And that is what keeps Puck from... Oh. Well. Rip Adept. Well, now he knows there are Zerglings. Oracle comes in, picks up 5 kills. All of them drones. So, making up... Well, he gets it! Everything going right for Jim this game. Besides the 5 drones. But overall, well, this is actually kind of an awkward spot. So despite Jim getting all these pickoffs, Puck hasn't really slowed down his economy. He's still pumping out probes. He's at 44. Jim is just now catching up. He has 3 bases. He has multiple queens. Oh no, not again! A fortuitous timing. And this is a real struggle. This is the part of the game... Oh, wait a second. Puck distracted by Lings at the front. Will lose his second Oracle. So, these Oracles are starting to add up. But he's also slowed Jim down at the same time. So, not a huge victory. I'd still put... I'd rather be Jim if you made me pick. But he did get slowed down when he was really trying to pump out the drones that allow him to jumpstart his mid-game economy. So we will see. He's making 10 more Lings. I think he's a little scared of, well, either like Adept shading across. I don't think Archon drop is really in the cards, or at least Jim wouldn't think it's in the cards, but based on how many Oracles were built, still has to cover his bases, literally and figuratively. He's doing a good job with the creep as well. I love... Oh, this is a cute move here. He's going to use... Well, we'll see if he does it in a moment. But he's going to use the high ground. Now, usually the creep would not spread to the low ground. But he's going to creep drop with the OV in order to be able to spread the creep to the low ground. I love it. Well, eventually. I'm sure we'll get there. Do it, Jim. Jim. Cute idea. There's a lot more going on in this game, though. Hydra's on the way. 66 drones for JimRising. Puck is getting to the classic Protoss death ball. I did it! Don't ask how it goes through, like, time and space, but whatever. It's like how lurkers can shoot across air. Don't question it. I'm starting to think this game isn't very realistic. the gateway explosion happening, and Jim is not planning on an attack timing right now. He's got an infestation pit on the way. That should be for Swarm House. He doesn't really have time to just rush out a hive. Or the economy, really. Puck is barreling towards the death ball. Jim's going to need a response in a minute or so. If he can deny a 4th base from Puck, and that looks to be a high priority. If he can deny a 4th base from Puck, and box out the army, while sitting on 4 bases of his own. Oh, he's rushing out the hive. He wants to go for Broodlords, which is a laudable goal. But, yeah, you can't get there, Jim. Jim. Mineral walls. Maybe he'll figure it out in a sec. He figured it out on the other map, so... If he got access to the rich Vespene Geyser, let alone the golden minerals, a rich Vespene Geyser is, I mean, obviously great to have. Definitely will help when going for something like Broodlords, minimizing the requirement for drones. They should make it so units can destroy minerals. I'm just going to let you dwell on that for a little bit. Hive and Spire on the way. There's no lurker down, right? No lurker down. We're going straight to Broods. He's skipped the Swarm Hose portion, which, if he gets away with it, Puck's still struggling to put together 200 supply. He's got plenty of Zealots. Zealots not really a huge part of the main army composition. They're just kind of meat you can throw in anywhere. They're not the icing on the cake. Beautiful negation of the stasis ward. This is Jim buying time. He obviously is not committing with his army right now. A huge amount of charge lots coming in. That's at least a dozen or so. Maybe 14, 15. Gonna split off this base. Not happening. No cancel. Not that Jim needs the minerals that badly. The charge lots will be cleaned up, but the pressure is taken off Puck's 4th. Now, where's the Warp Prism? Here's the Warp Prism. Wait, does he already have one? No. He's going to start a Warp Prism right now. Big brain. His charge lots are cleaned up. Warp Prism. Do I know anything about Protoss? We're going to find out. Warp Prism. What? Does he not have an Observer? And then a Warp Prism. I guess you do want to see what your opponent's army looks like. Roach Hydra on the right, Roach Hydra on the left. Corruptors being built in the production tab, and the Greater Spire just finished, but beautiful storm right off the bat. Both players probing for weakness. JimRising's units significantly less costly, but also significantly less effective. Broodlords are on the way. Just threatening with these armies is super important. Yeah, more observers. Puck, it feels like this will be lurkers. He hasn't seen the hive yet, but if a Zerg doesn't commit to attack by this point, he obviously has had 4 bases. He obviously has a near maxed or maxed army. So why isn't he attacking? It's Broodlords, or it's a big drop or lurkers or something. Does he have defenses for a drop? Yeah, he's already got a Templar in the main. All the tech is kind of exposed here, but there is no drop on the way as of yet. Lurker Den starts. Army coming up. Beautiful storm again! There is no direct counter. There's no fleet beacon yet. The blink is kind of an admission like, there could be other armies. Some charge lots are cleaned up. There are rocks blocking out each of these zones as well. Wait. Are there rocks on this side, but not rocks? I think the rocks were taken down earlier. That's why. It would be really weird if there were rocks here, but not rocks here. Lots of storms in the back line, but the Archons are evaporating. Whoa! Storms are pretty good. The Broodlords show up and drive back the Templar. Fleet Beacon, 2 more Stargates, indicating Puck not quite ready for Broods yet. I think he was doubling down on that Lurker defense. Lurkers are on the way, but they're going to be after the Broodlords. Jim's bringing everything in. An incredibly small, but insanely powerful army at the same time, and Zerg players can't recall. Important point. 2 Immortals, 5 High Templar with Storm, 2 Archons, and 2 Stalkers. Does not seem like a deadly army, but it is. Oh, it definitely seems like a deadly army. Anybody looks at that army like, it's a lot of Storm. Like, Jim doesn't need this base. What he really needs is to get to the gold with the minerals, with the rich Vespine. The Broodlords are a little exposed. Some of the Roaches caught between a rock and a hard place. The Storm's coming forward. The army on the right side idle for now. Does Puck decide to recall it back, or does he go forward? He's not going to risk losing it out on the field. I take it all back. He's going to risk losing it out on the field as Jim pulls back with his main forces. Those spine crawlers not happening. JimRising hurting for money. Puck has played a nearly impeccable game of just keeping Jim from doing damage. The cost efficiency is pretty disgusting. More Broodlords coming up, but there's nothing underneath them to protect them from the Blink Stalkers. There are the Roaches and Hydras. He's driving him back, but he's lost the base in the top right. And without the Broodlords, dislodging this army is going to be incredibly difficult. Tempests are on the way. Drones being slaughtered. A single Broodlord is not enough to stop this. The Roaches and Hydras zoning out. Puck attacks on the left, feeling more like the Zerg. Oh my god! The backbone of the defense. Approximately 1 chiropractor's office of spines. The Broodlords working their way forward. Not enough Blink Stalkers underneath. And with the spine crawlers there, he's able to target down some of the Templar. The army on the right has Puck bitten off more than he can chew. Another Templar taken out. There are still 7 Templar on the field, but a lot of them are exposed right now. The Broodlord flank! Beautifully done. The Storm's not going to kill the Broods in time. The Templar count dipping dramatically. He's caught between the minerals. He can't recall out of this one. Jim's fighting back. A single Blink Star. Oh, he's mined into the gold. Jim, you gotta figure out how to do that. But the Blink Stalkers counter strike. And the stasis ward boxes out the rest of the units, but so many Broodlords still. 9 Broodlords. He blinks underneath. What else is there? Jim's losing his key units. The Storms as well. There are some Corruptors. That's not gonna help. 2 Broodlords left. The Storm's all over the place, including places there aren't units. Storms at the back. Jim under 140 supply. And suddenly, it was looking good. He had some great pickoffs. But Puck is about to be on a gold base with a rich Vespine geyser. And he's ahead in supply. He maybe stepped a little too far forward earlier. But that is no longer the case. The problem here simply is the Broodlords are no longer the answer. There are 6 Tempests on the field. Puck's been holding on to them until he... If your bases are not under attack, why attack with 2-3 Tempests? Why show them? Why not wait? And once these Tempests are on the field, I'm hard-pressed to see Jim... He has Hydras, but Templars. Need I say more? Carrier's on the way. Carrier's indicating he feels comfortable in his Tempest count, dealing with Broodlords. The Templar are a little bit off to the side here. If he can target them down before they get their great storms. There are no Archons here. Kind of an awkward engagement. And Puck will be driven back. Where's that last Templar? It's coming from the main. The drop defense Templar. The drop defense Lar. No, that sounds weird. Once again, Puck warps in 55 or so charge lots, give or take. And the Hydra should be forced back for now. Some of the Tempests taken out. Puck giving chase. Jim stepping a little too far. More How many Broodlords? 21 Broodlords have died. That's too many Broodlords lost. What is happening here? This Stalker was forgotten. I think it might be stuck. I mean, it's stuck in that it has to blink out, but also stuck in that... What happened to you? What a sad story. Nope. Jim! Jim! Oh, he had an opportunity. I don't think he realized that base was there. The Tempest takes some pot shots. The stop! Let me out! Let me out! I can't take it anymore! More Broodlords on the way. Jim desperately trying to hold on where Puck is trying to find a way to finish him off. This base not happening. The Hydra's at the back. This is a lot of units to kill a Nexus, but if he gets that and more... How do you stop this army? You can slow it down. What happened to the Stalker? I think it joined up with its friends. I don't know if is there a Dark Shrine? There isn't, so no super easy defense. The problem for Puck here is he's maxed out, so he can't warp in charge lots too easily. This base is gone. And with it, many of the drones. Don't know where those zealots were going. One carrier. Nope. Not even. Gets one. Jim even lost so many overlords. There just isn't the army makeup here to deal with Puck. GG. Puck takes a solid 3-0 victory. That game looking a little dicier. But Puck, once again, using the map. The Micromancer strikes again. Well played. If you like this match, make sure to smash that like button. And how do you do that on Twitch? You go follow twitch.tv/Puck with 2 Ks and JimRising with no I in the Rising. Get the links in the chat. Puck's like, oh, it's over? Let me make sure they both get paid for this match. I mean, I can have them play some more. All right.
But she said, trust me, these are the stories we will tell as I stood frozen. I almost fell, but
I asked if they want to play again.
my heart starts beating a sudden rush of feeling alive. This is freedom and I won't change, I won't phase out.
We got some more maps. All right, let's do it again. We're gonna start fresh. A lot of this is to look at the new maps. Honestly, I thought that map played out pretty cool, right? Like, it seemed like I mentioned, a Zerg favored map because it was so open. But Puck was able to overcome that, I guess, by holding on so defensively. Let's do it again. I think Jim's warmed up. All right. I think Jim's warmed up. Just want to show good games to the fans. Make sure to check them both out. Go tell him how to. Go. I'm sure Jim will appreciate it if you go to his Twitch chat, twitch.tv/JimRising, twitch.tv/JimRSNG, and you tell him how to beat Puck, because I'm sure you know better. Make sure to make that happen now. We're going into our second best of 5, because we still got more maps to play. So.
Yes. Just as I
50%
deserve.
for the winner, 50%.
50%
so
for the
25.
winner, 50% for the handsome devil who makes non-Thursday nights a little bit better, with commentary.
Oh, that's me. Yeah, it's me. Is that a gas first? Oh, he's doing that. I'll explain that in a sec. So 25 for the winner of this one. Alright. On top of the, I'm already doing 35. 15. So, the stakes. You know, whenever you put more money on the line, Puck just keeps playing better. You remember against Future a couple weeks ago? Where I'm like, oh yeah, it's... Because Puck didn't even know at the start we were playing for money. For the first 2 games... It went 1-1 against Future, and Puck did not realize that, like, winner got money. And then I was like, no, we're at, like, $200 prize pool. And he's like, oh, and he won, like, 3 games in a row. It's like, oh, I'll play real bills. Alright. So we're on Winter's Gate, another one of the Team Liquid map contest maps, and this one featuring the second challenge, which is neutral inhibitor zone generators, which they do have unit collision, but they slow every unit. I call them slow zones. They slow everything inside them by 35%. They're essentially like neutral time warps, and both ground and air units. In this map, it doesn't use them to just slow everything down. It also has them outside the main. It's a little bit outside the third base, but you can take down a set of rocks. A bit more on the sides as well. But they cannot be destroyed. They cannot be turned off or anything. They just slow everything down. So units will still go through them when you click them through them, but obviously they won't get there as quick. Like, the implications of that are far-reaching. Fun fact, Adept Shade's unaffected by them. Much like they're unaffected by Force Field or Zerg units. He says, not caring. Alright. Would an Oracle projectile be affected? I have absolutely no idea what you are talking about. Is this the greediest third? You were going to explain the gas first. Oh, yeah. So, that's a build some Protosses will do. You get the pylon, you go back, get the gas, get the gate. And then you just start easing into gas, like 1 in gas, 2 in gas, 3 in gas. It doesn't mean you need more gas faster. It's just a cleaner, as in you're spending your minerals reliably way, of getting your gas early. It doesn't indicate he wants to go really super heavy into tech or anything, is what I'm trying to say by that. It usually means you're not probe scouting to try to pylon block. So, 1, I don't know why there's a drone here, but 2, Jim played this map against Turkey Dano. He ended up winning in kind of a messy game, but he's played the map. And Puck was a judge for the map contest, so he's at least seen it before. I don't know if he's played it before. So, It seems they're both kind of playing around the slow zones for now. Why is there a drone down here, Jim, though? Does he just rush a Spire and go straight into the base trade? Is that the play? It's just movement speed on the slow zones, not attack speed. Puck is playing incredibly greedy. Double Forge. Quick third base. He decided to wall off the right side. He's just going to use the slow zone as something of a wall. On the other one. Jim. Oh my god. I love it. This is a cute move. This was not a mistake. A revelation will tag. The Hydralisk done. Meaning, how would you know? Clever girl. The Twilight Council and Robo. Well, Robo's about to finish. 1-1 is on the way. Does Puck attack with just gateway units here? Does he build a prism? No. He's looking to hard counter. This looks like almost... He's so spread out here. He's got so much going on, and we're only 6 minutes into the game.
Good. Now I have your attention.
Jim, on the other hand, trying a new tactic. I like it. And realizing correctly, there's really no way for Puck to pressure right now. Like, there's no way he's coming across the map with 5 sentries and 2 adepts. It's not going to happen. Now, give it a little bit of time. Give Puck 70 probes and a 3-base economy, and that's going to change. But for now, the Observer will no longer be observing, but there's still some oracles for Revelation. Colossus being chrono boosted out. Some cannons on the left side. Now we get to see, for the very first time, how they play around or into the slow zones. Oh, what's the play? 7 mutas in production. The cannon's not enough on their own, but they'll stall things out. Does Jim... Yeah, Jim's decided, you know what? Yeah, probably not. Blink is coming up, but Blink is not a direct counter. Blink complements Colossi pretty well because it gives you some anti-air. And it helps counter a lot of the things that Colossi do not, like roaches. But it's going to come down to how much the mutas can do. How much time do they buy? There's no Templar Archive, so there's no access to Archons. There's going to be Blink, and there's going to be 2-2, and there is going to be hard decisions made by Puck. At this point, there's no going Phoenixes to counter this. Either you decide to try to play defense, or you go forward and try to put on counter pressure while stalling out the mutas at home. But guess what? Remember, there are also slow zones outside the main, making it a little bit harder. The probes will be dying. Does he recall? He doesn't have the energy in the main for a recall. The forges and the blink are actually exposed on a single pylon. I can't think of a name for that. 20 probes so far. He comes back home. Blink is about to finish. Oh my god. That pylon is so important. He's going to finish Blink, right? He's going to finish Blink, but he's going to delay 2-2. That's pretty huge. A couple seconds earlier on that pylon, and Puck's entire game could have been thrown completely sideways. He's already down 26, 27, 20, 27 probes, yes. But many lings at the front. The slow zone going to stack them up. Beautiful stasis to start. There's still some cannons in the back. Puck has to play defense. Another stasis acting as almost a wall. The slow zone keeping him from getting into the base for now. Looking for a snipe on the Colossus, not going to happen. Trying to take down some of the Stalkers, relying on the better economy he has by killing 28 probes. Puck still has 50 probes, though. He's been building them quite reliably, and he still has a strong army threatening to come across the map. The Hydras are unfrozen, and in their eternal frozen anger, take out one of the sentries, but then die horribly. The Stalkers blink forward. Jim's still struggling to be too cost-effective with the mutas, but until there are Archons, he can still trade with the Stalkers. 2-2 has been repowered, and has Jim bought enough time? He's got more mutas on the way. He saw there was... Well, he saw no Archons or Templar Archives. I don't know if he was specifically looking for it, but it isn't there, so he hasn't seen it. A tag on the mutas will allow him to chase them down. 24 mutas now. He has +1 air weapons. He has nothing on the ground. Lurker Den on the way. Group spawns coming up. Everything else in production. But Puck has taken it all on the chin and said, you know what? Whatever. I'm a chill. The fight is on. He's taking out sentries now. The slow zone affects both sides. Of course, he can teleport across it. The Muta's in retreat. Still many of them. He needs to maintain that critical mass to take out small groups of stalkers. Alright. So Lurker Den, +2, air. Templar Archives just now on the way for Puck. He doesn't have a huge gas bank because he's been building a lot of upgrades. He's been continually building stalkers. Oh, you can't get out that fast. The blink cooldown isn't particularly long, so he'll have enough to box out for now. But Jim has taken full advantage of this. He has 5 bases now. They're all mining gas. So many Mutalists. Upgrades on the ground. Overlord speed. But Puck is barreling towards 200 supply. He's got solid upgrades. He hasn't started his +3, but Storm is on the way. Puck, like some of the best Protoss in the world. Some of those shield Protoss players. We're talking stats. We're talking mana. Players that, no matter what, if there is a home to come back to, they will defend it. And he has refused to give in to that base trade that JimRising initiated. He wasn't prepared for it. He says, I don't care. 20, 30 probes, I'll rebuild them. He's going to hold the line. He's going to try to build up to that Protoss army composition that he knows he needs and use that to try to bludgeon JimRising with incredibly cost-effective units. Storm not done yet, but closing in on it. A lot of Zerglings getting roasted before they can even get close. Hallucinated Archons, but he sees them. This Archon is not halluc. I love that move, though. Unfortunately, Jim already has an Overseer. Zerglings, they do not have upgrades besides the Zergling speed, but... What are you doing? What? Jim? Does not seem like the most effective trade to me. Freeing up supply. Actually, kind of true, because now there are 11 lurkers coming up to complement the 16 lurkers. That's a lot of lurkers. Storm is good, but... And how many mutas are on the field? 25, 24. He's going to fight. He doesn't have +2 air weapons yet, but he's going toe-to-toe with these Stalkers. Stalker's also a decent counter to Lurkers. Not great. Oh no, it's not a super pylon! Jim's trading the Stalkers out, and remember, he has 5 bases, and they're all mining gas. He's adding on a 6th one right now, and a hive. The longer he keeps Puck at home, and the more units he trades with a significantly greater economy, like the one he has right now, the better off he is. Now, this is not cheap, but he really wants Lurkers. He's lost 32 mutas. He's down to 8, which is no longer enough to do anything but really kill probes. But here comes Puck. 112 army supply coming across the map. The hive just now finished. Adaptive Talons not on the way for the Lurkers yet. There is an observer with this army. That is a lot of Lurkers. That's a lot of Lurkers. That's 22, and there's not an immortal in sight. And by that I mean, I definitely didn't look in front of me. It's a lot of Lurkers. That is a lot of Lurkers. The muta's at the back, though. Jim needs the Adaptive Talons. He needs the Lurker Burrow and just Lurker Speed combo. Ultraless Cavern on the way. Not out of the question here. Ultras are on the table. Oh, the Lurkers will slip through the slow zone. Puck trying to come back. He'll isolate the mutas, but guess what? They're inside the base. Now what? Puck is going the other way. He's going across the map. It's a base trade. The third base already being ripped to shreds. The Lurkers trying to get into the natural. They will do so successfully. Cannons being built at the 4th, but the last bastion of the Protoss will not be enough to save the probes. Every base but the main is under fire. But at the same time, Jim feeling the heat as well. The extended thermal lances at the front. Hydras being cut off as they are born. Stalkers in the... Well, I guess they're in the front because there's really no charge left, but 33 probes have gone down. Small armies fighting. He picks off some Templar. Not a single storm. The probe count plummeting. Muta's on top of it. He's gonna be on top of the only base that Puck has made outside of the ones currently being assaulted by lurkers. 14 probes. He's trying to hold the main. The once and future main. The only base that Puck will be able to hold on to, at least for now. A recall. Recall is the most important spell to be looking for at the moment. When and where he uses his recall, well, he can only use it on the main. I guess when he uses his recall and with which units is super important to note. All the tech has been gutted. The spawning pool is gone. The Hydralisk Den being rebuilt. The spawning pool not gone. He's rebuilding it right now. Okay, I stand correct. The stasis ward formed a force field on the ramp, but now the lurkers are here. Puck, when do you come home? Puck, 102 to 110 army supply. The hive is under attack. Jim rebuilding in the corner. He's got 6 lurkers with it. Is there a recall? There it is. Is there detection with it? He does have an observer. He's on top of the lurkers. Stalkers blink to the side. Storm's on top. Hydra's coming up, but the lurkers already stormed away. There's a couple Colossi in the back, but are they enough? Puck trying to hold on. His army so close to being enough. The extended thermal lamp's so good. The mutas are actually uncontested. He doesn't have the money or the supply to warp in. The mutas could kill these Colossi. They just don't know it yet. The main base has been gutted. The tech has been left alone, but Jim is in the top right, and Puck is losing his last Nexus. GG. Jim takes it back. He takes it all the way after losing 3 in a row. The start of a new best of 5. He wins game 1. Some creative play from both sides, but the Hidden Spire eventually forcing out this scenario, and he takes home the win. I'd like to open up Jim's stream for a second and see what he has to say about that. Very talkative guy. All right. Let me pick out another Team Liquid map for him. We're going to Heatwave. What a game. Alright, we're up in the prize pool, partially based on your donations. $75 for the winner and $25 for the loser. Jim's up 1-0. I did update them just to make it clear. This is a new best of 5. Invite me to Jim says, Winter, invite me more to these kind of things. I'm Mexican, no money. Puck gives him a lull. And we're going into game 2 on a heat wave. Remember to use the multi-command if you're watching live for both of them. They're both streaming. We're doing it live, having some fun. on Tuesday night. We're checking out these Team Liquid map contest maps. The ones I think, well, I'm kind of still having a debate about my top 5. I think I know my top 3, but I'm putting on maps that I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to vote for yet. In the top left, the American Protoss. A hard-fought game, but not quite able to pull out the base trade. It's Puck. In the bottom right, the Mexican Zerg player, JimRising. Pool first, 12 pool. But what does he do with it? There's no gas. This shouldn't be the full ending strategy here. This is, by the way, a standard or macro map. This is not one of the challenge maps, so no slow zones and no mineral walls. But just some Starcrafts. 8 Zerglings on the way, and no probe scout from Puck. Meaning he could be taken quite off guard by this. Jim now playing for keeps. The probe should see it. The Overlord might give him the opportunity to dodge. Oof. This could be very bad for Puck. This game could end very quickly. The probes come down. He already rebuilds another pylon, but there are more links. The probe micro. Good. Well, 6 probes, 7. Oof, 8 is a bit much. If he could have limited it to 5 or 6, I think that would have been alright. But 8. And there are a couple more lings coming in. Does he have enough gas for an adept? He does, but he just doesn't have the minerals. If he loses any more, or mining time, like, there's a lot of bad options here. It's just 2 Zerglings, but at this stage of the game, after all this has gone down, an adept is on the way. He canceled the probe for it. So, because Puck expanded pretty significantly earlier, and he has access to the double chrono, it's not the end of the world, but it's not great. There's a good choice from Jim to go for the 12 pull. It's not a huge commitment. He didn't have any gas or anything like that. The adept will clean this up. There's still no gas from Jim, indicating full grade. Gonna try to take advantage of the situation. So Puck will have the opportunity. Now, what tech does he choose? Do we still just go Stargate and play it safe? Couple queens coming out. Queen's always a solid defense in low economy situations. This will be interesting. There are definitely a few too many probes lost. 8 was too many, but it wasn't the end of things. The problem here now, Puck, I don't even think the probe got in far enough to see when he was taking his gas. Of course, now is when he's taking his gas. The Overlord is in position. I believe that's a hard wall. I don't know if that's intentional. Now, remember, these players probably have not played on the map before. Plenty of Zerglings there. Puck should most definitely... Oh my god, I'm very surprised he didn't, but there's no Zergling speed. He is on creep, though, so... Making moves, making plays. Will he get both Adepts out? Will he get any Adepts out? Just barely. Jim very focused on dealing with that. Oh, it's not a hard wall, right? It looks like it would be, but... Okay. Let's make no mistake here. Off that early pressure... Oh my god. Why does it have an HP bar? Off that early pressure, Jim's taking up a significant lead. He has to figure out the best way to capitalize on it. Whereas Puck, his margin for... He can make, at this point in the game, he can make no mistakes. He can choose all the right tech at all the right time, and there's still not a small chance that he will still fail. It's just difficult. When your opponent can build that much more stuff and has that many options, you can't really work off half measures either. That's important to consider. He can't just be like, I'll get a Robo and a Twilight and a third and some upgrade. Like, you gotta go, you gotta pick a road, pick a lane, and go down it. And well, this is a pretty appropriate map for it. This map kind of like a series of lanes that are pretty hard to get across. There are some ramps down and up, and that's how ramps work. I just described what ramps are. Great job. But overall, going from the left to the right side of the map is a bit more clunky, I guess, than on most. It makes for an interesting positional play. MC was actually playing a map, I believe, on this map. I believe against Sort of. He was really big on getting sentries for force field, because a few force fields, even out in the middle of the map, a lot of the time, sentry is not as effective unless they're defending or directly attacking. But in the middle of the map, there's still an opportunity for 2 or 3 force fields to create walls. Of course, he wasn't in such a dire economic situation, and it's still not the end of the world. I keep saying, I'm saying it like, well, Jim would really have to screw this up. He's definitely got the advantage. He's got the initiative. Puck has fought back a little bit. He's working towards all the tech he needs, but he's not there yet. And Jim has plenty of opportunity. Was the Nidus scouted? He just saw it. Yeah. Wait, did he see it? Well, he should. Yeah, he needs to be building pylons on the edge of his base. He saw it, but there's a lot going on, and it's hard to tell exactly what he's reacting to. Oh, okay. We're getting there. Charge is on the way. No storm as of yet. He's pressed for cash. The sentry's in position. The Hydra's trying to come up, but a couple sentries means you can't actually really come through this area before you take down the rocks. Gonna try moving towards the center. Stasis ward's on the way. He can just target it down. That Templar is vulnerable. Losing a Templar at all hurts. Yeah, Archon's coming up. Storm will be built. There's just not that many units here for Puck. That's the prevailing issue. Couple Immortals at the front. The Archon finishes up. The Immortals gotta back off for now. The shield battery at the back. An Archon will be able to box out. 72 drones. Alright. Another game where Puck will have to put together an immaculate defense. Nidus is done. I love how Jim's just been throwing that in there. It's become a very, very popular strategy. To the dismay of many Protosses. 77 drones. Storm is nearly complete. Now, with Charge done, are there any upgrades? A Forge is just now building. Does he have warp-ins? 2 charge lots are warped in. He might need more than that. Oh, is he just going to try to defend outright? The Oracles... I don't know what's in the Nidus. Oh. Well, they're not... There were Hydras in the Nidus. He got it now. A weird amount of units there. He's going to have to recall back to his third. Oh, that's a lot of Hydras at the third. This is getting out of hand for Puck right now. He recalls, but that's going to be a dicey position as well. An Immortal in the front. Oh, does he have a Storm? He needs a Storm! Where are the Storms? It's a disaster. GG. And that's all it takes. Puck was on thin ice. He fell through. We're going to Neo Tokyo Turbo Cruise 84. Did you tell Puck this one is for money? He knows. I hope. I hope he understands words. I'm pretty sure he does. Prize pool is 75 for the winner, 25 for the loser. Puck won the first, which was 35-15. Now, if Jim wins, maybe I say double or nothing. And we have to do a best of 3 for all the marbles. Thank you, Lego Man, for 12 months. Breath, how you doing? 33. Thank you for that. Up against the ropes. Neo Tokyo Turbo Cruise has to be his stand. The American Protoss from Root Gaming is Puck. And in the top right, with some strong decision making. What does he choose to do here on Neo Tokyo Turbo Cruise 84? It's JimRising. The drone will go through the slow zones. They do not stack. Important to note. This one is pretty ham-fisted. They're just some slow zones through the main attack path and a little bit around the sides. Otherwise... Wait, what does that say? Global Elite Control. The Fed. Did I just hear a spray? I thought I just heard a spray. Nobody spray something? What's going on? I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I'm a crazy person. I'm looking around. I need to look at more. Alright, the probe... Wait. Didn't we just see a probe go the other direction? Wait, what? 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 He was looking for pull first. He was looking for pull first, Zerglings. Trying to sneak by, I guess. I'm a mess. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm falling apart. Winter is melting. Alright. We're going to the JimRising action cam. You can also find it on their streams, of course. There's a cheese spray. Sanity is restored. There is a spray. Oh my god. Where are the Zerglings of Jim? But the beautiful cancel at the last second. That means Puck's gonna get in, and he's gonna get some drones. Zergling speed is quite late. A very greedy build from Jim here. Does he get one more and then shade? Oof. Doesn't... Oof. How has that become part of our collective vocabulary? I resisted it for so long. Gets 2 drones, gets out. 1 spore crawler finishes. Oh, he's just moving it down to the 3rd, okay. Don't worry. Puck knows there's money on the line. This is when he starts playing the game. In our first best of 5, Puck took a decisive 3-0 against Jim. The last two games have not been as decisive, but Jim's been able to come out on top. I have confidence that Puck isn't going to let it go down that easy. With that, I expect him now that I said that to lose in the next 3 minutes. What's the score so far? If only there was somewhere that would have conveniently provided that information. I don't know where we'd put it. The Zerglings will go past the cheese spray, who I'm pretty sure was Jim's with that early drone for some reason. The Phoenix has picked up a single Overlord kill. That's a lot of Adepts. Puck has shown this build before. The Adepts can shade right through the slow zones. At full speed, is the implication. Now, Jim's making some lanes. He doesn't have a Roach Warren yet. The Adepts are going to get right on top of everything. They don't have glaives, but on their own... Oh, and he pushes the drones away! The bait and switch. Gonna target down the Queen. The Adepts doing a pretty good job on their own. Looking to find an angle with the Oracles. Oh my god, the disgusting positioning. Jim bit off a little more than he could chew, trying to engage those Adepts. The drones overstayed their welcome, and now they're in the natural too. No, drones don't counter Adepts, Jim! 11 drone kills, bringing him down to 45. And there's no real follow-up here. Because Lings will be killed. Like, the Lings can't do much because of the Oracles. There's no really lair tech that's going to work out. Yeah, the Lings are coming up. I mean, what do you expect them to do? The Oracles are going to kill all the Lings. But he had to make the Lings, otherwise the Adepts would never have died. Oh, you can't run! But the Oracle slowed by a proportional amount. Can't give chases easy. 2 Immortals on the way. Roaches were not going to happen. In fact, those Adepts, I think, were designed to bait out Roaches. But the Roach Horn was a little late.
Glorious combat is upon us.
Thank you for biddies. Immortals on the way. Did the Phoenix scouted the Spire? He will lose the Phoenix. Wait! I spoke too soon. Now, what is the choice? He's gonna get charged. Is he really just gonna call his bluff? That Spire is about to finish. He saw the Spire. He saw the Spire. He's not building any more Phoenixes or anything. He's not starting Blink. I love that stasis word. Okay, maybe I love it a little less. That was actually not that great. I shouldn't have committed. Jim, I think, is going to go for Corruptors, because the Spire got scouted. We saw that before. Oracle's just kind of killing Queens here, which is quite convenient. 8 Mutas on the way. Which is kind of Jim saying, I mean, what else am I supposed to build? Because he doesn't have a Hydra Den. He doesn't have, like, an Infestation Pit. He doesn't even have Roach Speed or any upgrades on the ground. So, Puck, he's building Phoenixes now. He sees the 4th base. The Muta count is growing. I mean, when you get enough Mutas, it becomes nearly impossible to stop. That's how Game 1 ended up happening. Was Jim just got so many Mutas, Puck. He had to either stay in his base or base trade. Those are the only 2 options. There's no, like, I'm going to deal with the Mutas and attack. But already Stalkers and Phoenixes, and oh my god, that is 7 Immortals. Not that he needs them. There aren't even any ground units. He literally has only Queens. He's got 16 Mutas and nothing else. Not even a single Zergling. So, the Immortal's gonna be a pretty hard counter. Now he's making some Zerglings, but there's Storm already. Storm's going to be done by the time anything else happens. Zerglings popping out. Baneling Nest on the way. Corruptors as well. He's going Sky Zerg. So we'll have to see how the slow zones work with Storm. Obviously pretty well if he can catch him in the right spot, but the mutas are coming by. How many Phoenixes on the field? 4 Phoenixes against 20 mutas. That is not an easy sell, and he has +1 muta carapace, which means it takes even more. Whoa, Storms don't care, though. Storms do not care about that. Jim just going all in on the mutas, essentially. And it's working out so far. He's killing off the Phoenixes. He's going straight for the Stalkers. The ground army is like, what do we do? More Phoenixes coming out. Those mutas heal, but not that quick. Oh, he's killing so many of them. He's killing a lot of them. He's already lost 13 mutas. I don't know if I can justify. While he did some... Yeah, this is... He's building more mutas. Which feels like a bit optimistic. There's some more mutas here. The Corruptor's very angry at this Archon. Now, it appears that the slow zone's not helping the mutas dodge the storms. He recalls the morphing Archons. He will get out. This is kind of a weird exchange here. Whereas more of the units of Puck came up, and he's just still making mutas. Puck has established his 4th base. He's not really mining from it yet. It feels like Puck is not respecting how much Jim is just mono-battling mutas. Like, he's just making mutas. That's it. Like, his army is mutas. He has 21 mutas, 12 Zerglings, which I could sneeze and 12 Zerglings would pop out, 5 Corruptors, which were a thought, but then he's like, you know what? Well, that actually worked out. The Corruptors are very important in this scenario. Enough to box out the Phoenixes. The problem is, at some point, Puck will have the right army to deal with it. He has 4 Archons, which is approximately 3 more Archons than you need to deal with mutas. He's got a few High Templar. He's got enough Phoenixes to start ripping through the mutas, especially if they are softened up at all. That's, yep, much softer. As you see, no longer a muta there. The charge lots. The ground units have +2 attack as well, which means the Archons do approximately 7,000 damage. Jim now making an infestation pit. If he could get a hold of a Greater Spire, that is the dream. If Puck could get a hold of killing Jim, that is also the dream. Here come the mutas. They're going to turn around. Puck coming across. How do you stop this? 12 Banelings. That's not even enough Banelings. There's no hyperbole here. That is not enough Banelings to kill an Archon. It's like 17 that are required. If they have attack upgrades, maybe like 1 less. This Archon, very angry. They do seem angry. They feels like they got merged too early, and they realized maybe I didn't want to commit to a lifelong relationship with this Templar, but you can't go back on it now. There are no demerges in the Protoss world. Must be rough. It's like I didn't even get to storm around the world. Should have asked for my feedback. No. The mutas trying to base trade with some Stalkers. A single storm will change the whole equation. The mutas being boxed out. I mean, the Phoenix is being boxed out by the Corruptors. A recall comes through. I'm not sure what he's recalling. 2 Archons. He's like, we're done. That's all we need. The very lugs! On top of the Archons, some of the Templars survive. Most of the Archons do. And down goes the base. The storms are there. The Archons are underneath. The storms on the Archons. The scorched earth oh, and now there are no more mutas. You can't... Storms go in, mutas go out. You can't explain that. There's some Zerglings, but we've now finally reached that inevitable point. Oh yeah, Jim with a he's got 2,300 minerals. If he could somehow translate that into Zerglings, but no. Or as they say in Spanish, no. Puck will take it. Holds on against the mutas. It's 2-1. General Rudy the Adamant killed 7 mutas, 7 lings, 5 corruptors, and 3 drones. What a guy. Archons are pretty good. I may have mentioned this in the past. We're going to Black Baroque. In the top left. Striking back. The American Protoss. Root Gaming's Puck. And in the bottom right. Up 2-1. But he's got to bring it home. The Mexican Zerg. JimRising. We're on Black Baroque, another one of the Team Liquid Map Contest 12 finalists. This is a standard map. So the intent is to be standard. And it's pretty close to it. A bit of an interesting design when it comes to aesthetics. As for the layout of the bases and stuff like that, a more traditional path. Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl. Give him a spray. Spray him. You gotta throw down the spray. After last game, Puck doing a little bit of anti-mineral micro. You see the duel between the workers that want to mine the minerals and the AI thinking it's being mined. Puck denying tens of minerals potentially from Jim if he does it perfectly. Up. APMs off the charts. And Puck steals those minerals and goes home. And now he's just gonna dead harass. It's 2019. You can't harass drones like that anymore. Oh, wait. Wait. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it, Puck. Don't do it!
First blood.
You knew he was gonna do it the whole time. Of course he was. A Stargate on the way. Back to basics. The Adept will shade by the beautiful watchtower. This map reminds me of like a World of Warcraft zone. A lot of the good maps do, but like a dungeon. Alright, Adept comes in, gonna get a beat on the drone count, pinned up against the wall! Not even close, baby. What a save! Though probably should not have gotten stuck there in the first place. First Oracle coming out. Oh, the Ling's not getting in. Beautiful shade back behind. So far, Puck playing cleanly. Is he gonna proxy another Spire? We saw this before. And then he'll hide it in the trees. Oracle coming in. No, gonna find some kills. Good positioning on it. Yeah, Jim struggling. And this game. Ooh. Brenda, bring my moon boots. They're in the closet. No, the back. Up. Never mind. He's gone. Third base being taken. So a pretty greedy Stargate expand here. I love that. It's subtle. It's subtle. An interesting location on the low ground outside the third, because it is a low ground, but it's surrounded by high grounds. So it's like a basin. I don't know what I'm getting at here, but where it's a bit of a choke point and things like force fields could be effective, there's also a lot of surround potential, is what I'm going for with it. But it's also not too much of a choke point that once you get into that position, it's impossible to dislodge you. Wait, did he see those legs? Puck, did you see them? He did not. There's an adept in the wall. Puck been favoring these double robo builds. He's putting a second robo. It's right there. It's right in front of my face. Puck not gonna make that elementary mistake of not having an adept in the wall, but he might lose a few probes. Yep. 2 down. There is a Phoenix in the back in the distance here. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Beautiful tag. He's gonna see the Roach Warren spinning up. Well, evolving into glial reconstitution, which, as everyone knows, Roach speed. Or glial, whatever. Roach, it's Roach speed. A Nidus Network on the way. But once again, Nidus Network's being used not as an all-in, as a timing, but, I mean, why not? You have a Nidus Network, pretty cheap. Spits out units super fast. Easier to use than a drop. And if you're going to have one, but wait, get 2 for the same price. The Roach is going to try to sneak in, but 1 immortal. And then the rest of them going to scare it off. Now, Puck has... Wait, is there vision? Is there a place where Puck doesn't see? The Phoenix sees the double Nidus. Well, now. Into the main. Already a recall? How much? Oh, enough. The only thing that was going to stop this. He pops it. No. The Roaches. Just enough energy in the Oracles to drive this back. Good defense so far. Ah! Oh, they're out! They got out! Oh, wait. Well, tactically allowing enough units to get out that he could deal with. But at the same time, there's Nidus on the right! They're everywhere! And on the left! Puck! Whack a worm! You gotta put them down before they come up. Oh, he's going for the third, though. How many immortals on the field? There are 5 immortals, but they're strewn throughout. The Oracle's not that much energy for now. He's gonna warp in some Zealots. The shield battery helping out a lot. He slips in behind the mineral line. The Niduses in the main have been taken out for now. The Immortals making their way to the third. The Roaches, once they see him, gonna have to rethink their situation. Oh, the barriers have already been triggered. He's gonna lose one. What a save! He picks it up. But It's temporary. It's temporary. He can pick it up maybe one more time. The probes are pulled to get in front of that. There aren't that many probes he can afford to lose. Another Nidus network is on the way. He's going to pop out more reinforcements. 1 or 2 get through. The probes in the front. The Immortal's holding the line. 9 kills. 14 kills. 3 kills. He's holding for now. The worker count's still looking pretty good. There doesn't seem to be any vision in the main. But more roaches are coming up towards the third. The Phoenix putting in work, shutting down the vision to be able to establish Nidus networks in those locations. He throws down a Contaminate, because why not? Storm is nearly completed. He's actually been able to hold on to a couple Templar. Jim, 63 workers. Puck, 64. He only lost like 7 or 8 more workers in that push. And now here's the thing. That was not very cost effective. Trading 10 roaches for nothing. Roaches, not great against Immortals. He's lost 55 roaches. For 4 Immortals, 16 Zealots, 10 Probes. Oh, and the Storms. The Storm not great, but the Oracles are here. 1 Immortal gonna help. The rest of the army just chilling. Another Spire is on the way, and a Spire could be helpful here. The pathing not working out great for JimRising. There are some rocks that wall off the easiest walking location. But Puck has held quite strongly. The double Nidus in the main. The Oracles have enough energy, it looks like, to take it out. Ooh. 1 runs out of energy, 2, but 1 has enough. He could throw it down again. The Roach is scouting. Plenty of mutas on the way, but more Phoenixes coming up. He's starting to realize what the options are here. Jim has how many roaches still on the ground? 11. Plenty of Lings, plenty of mutas, more Niduses. He's all over the place. Puck still has to defend. No charge yet. He did not get charged that early. He was really focusing on tech, meaning he doesn't have that extra damage output to help kill these. Some Lings pop out. I mean, that's one way to do it. And also roaches and Lings on the left. Where are the mutas? They're building up at home. He's looking for that critical mass. The upgrades, +1 attack against +1 ranged missile weapons. A beautiful storm! Another one! 1 Immortal may die. 14 kills, 11 kills. The rest of the roaches have to turn around. The shield holds. More Niduses come up. Remember, they do cost money. How many has he lost? He has lost, so far, 13 Nidus Worms. So that's 650 gas of Nidus Worms. Let alone all the 73 roaches that have been popping mostly out of them. The muta count, though. How many Phoenixes? 4 Phoenixes. 24 Mutalists. This is quite a mutal risk. But if it pays off, there's a single cannon in the main mineral line. The Phoenix is in place. Oh, he sees the mutas. He's moving back towards the main. The attack at the front going to be eviscerated by the Protoss army, but the mutas are on top of the Phoenixes. There don't seem to be that many storms with this for now. Deja vu as Phoenixes run from the mutas again. Jim has a good economy. Some Stalkers being warped in. The Phoenix count being cut down. Still 4 bases for Puck. The ground army sent across the map. Is there anything that can match it? Probes being cut down. Stalkers, they don't have Blink. And he's not researching it. Puck down to 41 workers. But the ground army. That hatch is not going to stand up for long. At some point, the mutas have to come home. How many Phoenixes? There's only 1 Phoenix left. There's enough mutas at home, actually. The Immortal's starting to be tapped on. There's a handful of Archons. Can he beat the Archons? This has been the story of many Zergs in the past. But the answer is yes. Now he has to kill the Immortals, which is a whole titanic task in and of itself. Down goes the Spire. A key component of building mutas. But the ground army is gone. 6 more mutas on the way. He still has the ones in the air that he has to contend with. 1 Immortal late to the party. Puck is at 40 workers. Jim, 55. He maintains his bases. It seems the mutas have done what they needed to do. I do not believe Puck can defend his 4th base. How many Templar on the field? Is there a Templar Archives? He still has it, but he's building Archons. He's looking to counter the mutas directly. He may have overestimated the damage he did. +2 is done. That's enough mutas to just... Well, anything they're allowed to damage will be dying relatively quickly. A handful of Zerglings. The Phoenix is trying to get whatever they can done. Puck. He has to make hard decisions here. He knows he gutted the tech. He knows he killed some economy. But he's on the clock. He's lost his 4th. In 5 seconds, that'll be true. He can't directly deal with the mutas very well. And by the time he does, will Jim... Now, Puck doesn't know about the 4th or the 5th bases. He doesn't know Jim's at 70 drones and 3 mining bases. If he just thinks, all I have to do is deal with these mutas, then he's very wrong. There's going to be Hydras coming out. Potentially Lurkers, which are... And with all those Immortals, how many Immortals died? Now 16. How many Immortals left? None. Don't know why they call them Immortals. But there will be some sort... There will be a point where Puck has to decide if he can attack. In that point, if it's going to be successful, the attack has to be soon. It has to be soon. There are no upgrades on these mutas, by the way, so the Phoenix is quite a good counter to them. Hydras are going to start to build up in number, let alone the potential for Lurkers. 4 Templar on the field. Storms could potentially negate the mutas entirely by killing them. Storms good against everything here. By that I mean pretty much just mutas. More Hydras on the way. Blink is done, adding some potential cost efficiency and mobility. There's a single Archon. This base not happening, but there's more where that came from. Puck really needs to realize there's more on the field here. Some unfortunate drones in an unfortunate place at an unfortunate time will be taken out. But are the storms enough? Is the Blink micro enough? The Phoenix is at the back. The army supplies heavier for Jim. Puck being very careful, but this is no time for caution. Every second he waits, Jim's nearly max now. Puck still doesn't know about the bottom left. That is a really tough scenario. He's trying to build up. He's trying to max out. If Jim lets him max out, then the Protoss army becomes incredibly strong again. There are no Lurkers on the way. There's still the double 90. I think everyone's forgotten about it. Puck. He doesn't know where the mutas are. If he spots where the mutas are, he spots them on the left. Does he go forward? The Phoenixes are trying to intercept, making sure his army doesn't get jumped. But the double Nidus in the main. Forward or back? Make a decision, Puck. Now or never. A lot of the Hydras are in the Nidus right now. He tries to jump it. The Templar are at the bet. The Phoenix is in the front. Blinking forward is a dicey maneuver at the very best. Trying to get on top of the Templar. The Storms are coming out. Can he get any more Archons off as well? The Storm's doing an incredible job. The Phoenixes are zoning out. There are no more Storms for the Hydras, though. The Hydras are in the main dealing with the production. Puck trying to hold the line. There's a single Lurker! There's one Lurker! That one Lurker may have done it. 30 more Hydras on the way for Jim. Puck seems to have waited too long. These bases will be scouted. The main base is gone. The Templar Archives is under fire. The Lurker comes up. That is just the one Lurker. He has no detection. There's an observer somewhere. It's not here. Jim comes in from all sides. The bases weren't scouted. And Jim takes it. 3-1. A solid series.
Good. Now I have your attention.
I was about to ask if Puck wanted to do double or nothing, but I don't think he's interested. Jim gets 75 plus the 15 from the early one, so 90. Check what Jim has to say. He is mildly smiling.
Frosty Feet, gracias por el follow. Oh, Cabo, gracias por la suscripción, cabrón.
That sounds
Gracias
like
por
that
Linder.
sounds positive to me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this series. And Tuesday Night Fights. We're not necessarily done yet, but if you liked it, tell me more about it. Tell the players more about it. We'll find more Mexican players to give money. Specials at IEMK right now. We'll see. Maybe I have a few more players. I might make some decisions on the Team Nuka map contest maps. But I hope you enjoyed the series. And let me get these guys paid. Make sure to like, subscribe, type Kappa in the chat so I can afford to trickle down dirty esports money on North American pro gamers.